Hi, and welcome to this FORNAV coffee break. My name is René Brummel. I'm a product specialist at FORNAV, and I will be your presenter today. As this coffee break is live, you can ask your questions via the GoToWebinar question window. We will answer them at the end of the coffee break. Today, we're going to send and receive our Business Central e-invoices through the Peppol network. One of the easiest and most secure ways of distributing e-invoices while meeting regulatory requirements is the fully automated transmission via the Peppol network. Sending e-invoices using the Peppol network is one of the transmission methods accepted by all authorities, but the only one supporting machine-to-machine communication and the mass sending of e-invoices. Out of the box, Microsoft supports sending or receiving of e-invoices as an attachment to an email. The transport of e-documents is not included. To automatically exchange e-documents from Business Central, you need an additional solution. FORNAV offers automated transport of e-documents through a seamless integration with Peppol, including an automatic lookup for companies in the Peppol directory and the validation of e-documents before sending. FORNAV is a registered Peppol access point, so you do not have to bear the burden of having to find a Peppol Access Provider. To demonstrate sending and receiving e-invoices through the Peppol network, I'm going to use these steps. Prerequisites, what do I need to get going? In step 2, I will set up and authenticate with the FORNAV Peppol network. In step 3, I will send a sales invoice. In step 4, I will receive a purchase order. Let's start with the first step. Today, I will work on the Business Central Cloud Server with the Business Central 2025 Wave 1 release. I have installed the FORNAV Peppol Plus extension from Microsoft AppSource. The FORNAV Peppol Plus extension is available for Business Central 2025 Wave 1 and above. The first thing we need to do is establish a trust relationship between Business Central and the FORNAV Peppol network hosted on Azure. The FORNAV Peppol network can push incoming Peppol documents directly to Business Central, but it can only do so if you allow this transmission to happen. From Business Central, you can send documents to the FORNAV Peppol network, but only if your tenant is allowed access. All communication between the FORNAV Peppol network and Business Central are secured with OAuth 2.0. FORNAV sets this mutual trust authentication up automatically once you give the FORNAV Peppol network the required permissions. The FORNAV Peppol network can only ever read FORNAV Peppol setup data and create incoming Peppol documents. FORNAV does not need access to any other Business Central records. So what does this look like? Let's go to Business Central, and in Business Central we will find the FORNAV Peppol setup. And in the FORNAV Peppol setup, you will notice that everything is not authenticated yet. I don't have a client ID and I don't have a secret. So I will select authorize, and this will say this will help me connect to the FORNAV Peppol network. And the first thing I need to do is grant access to the FORNAV Peppol network to access Business Central. To do that, a user-named integration with FORNAV Peppol will be created, and this user needs to be, there we go, need to log in. This user needs to give permissions to FORNAV Peppol to access to automation, web service and API, and sign in and read user profile. So I will accept that. The next step is the OAuth setup. So we're going to set up the OAuth authentication that Business Central needs to connect to the FORNAV Peppol network. And to do that, we need some basic information which we read from the company information. And then I will allow this extension to connect on HTTP. And this is going to take a while because the connection needs to be completely set up now. And there we go. Once everything is set up, Business Central performs a quick test. We get a client ID, which is the ID that we use on the FORNAV Peppol network, and we can see that we are authenticated. And if I click finish, you see that I have a client ID, secret is valid from, and I have a secret expiration. The client secret will expire after a couple of months, and the secret will renew automatically, so you don't need to renew anything. Every time we communicate with the FORNAV Peppol, we check if the secret is going to expire anytime soon. If it is, we will simply rotate it automatically. You can also see I'm on a sandbox right now, and that means that my test boolean, my test checkbox is automatically ticked on, which means that I cannot send any production documents through this system. And once I'm done, I click publish, and I need to accept the FORNAV user license, and if I hit yes, we are published and we are ready to connect to the FORNAV Peppol network. Once we have set up the connection to the FORNAV Peppol network, we want to start testing. Normally you would need two tenants to test the Peppol communication, a sender and a receiver. FORNAV creates a special test customer and vendor that you can use to test both the outgoing and incoming communication in the same database. So let's have a look at that. If I look at the customers, you can see that I have the default Business Central Cloud customers, and I also have the Cronus International Limited. And this has a document sending profile which is called FORNAV, which we create automatically. And this document sending profile is the default, and it is set to electronic document extend e-document service flow, and the electronic document service is FORNAV. And that means that Business Central will communicate with FORNAV about electronic documents. If I want to create a new document, I am simply going to create a sales invoice. I need a reference because that is mandatory for e-documents. And of course I need to sell something. So let's send this one, and I'm going to send one of them. So I'm ready to post and send. And if I click post and send, you will see that we're going to send this through the electronic document e-document service flow. Hit yes. And there we go, that's been sent. And to check that it is sent, I will open the FORNAV Peppol setup. In there I'm going to have a look at the outgoing documents. You will see I have the FORNAV test customer that I'm going to send this document to. And you can see I have some communications, it's pending a response now. I have some communication logs, I have two at the moment, pending response, and a communication log right here. And that means my document has been sent now, and I'm ready to go and check the other side. Finally, we want to receive the document as well. We don't need to do anything. FORNAV will automatically send the incoming document to the Peppol incoming documents. So let's have a look at the incoming, and we will see that I have the incoming document right here, which is a purchase order. In the e-document I can see a visual representation of the XML data, which makes everything a bit more human readable. And if I want to, I can download any attachments that are connected to my e-document, or I can view the XML. I can do that on the outgoing documents as well. This shows me the raw HTML data, which might be useful when you want to debug something. And you can send an email if there is something that doesn't go right. You can send an email to your FORNAV partner with the XML and documents and ask them to have a look at what's going on. If I'm happy with this, I can create the document. Then the e-document is being processed, and I'm going to get a purchase order. And when I'm happy with this purchase order, I can approve or reject it. And don't worry if this isn't there, because in the e-document you can approve or reject, or you can preview the mapping. And I'm using the FORNAV, obviously. I'm happy with this. I'm going to approve this. That means when I go and have a look at my purchase orders, you will see I have a purchase order right here for FORNAV test, and you can see that the purchase order number is in green, and it is in green because the communication, the order has been approved and the communication through Peppol has been completed. If I approve it here, that means that on the sales side I have a sales invoice. Sorry, I have a posted sales invoice, of course I've posted it. And you will notice that that is green and bolded as well, which means that it is approved on the other side, which means that the other party, my customer, has received the sales document and they have approved it. And under related I can view the e-document, and I can see that the e-document status has been processed, which means that everything is done. Once again, in the FORNAV Peppol setup, I can check my outgoing documents and see that it is processed. The e-document status is approved, and you can see I have 4 communication logs right now, which are useful because it will tell me exactly everything that's been going on with this document. And we can see that the last documents, the last communication is that the document has been approved by my customer. So I know I'm going to get this paid because the customer has received it. I know this and they have approved this. I also know that. That's incredibly useful if you want to sell stuff to customers. And of course the incoming document has been processed as well. My Peppol inbox will show things like evidence for documents that I've received or sent. You can see that I have evidence for my sales document, I have evidence for my purchase document, and I also get the e-documents here. Again, I can view the source XML that will allow me, that will help me with any troubleshooting that I might have. Let's recap what we just did. The first thing we did was to set up the FORNAV Peppol extension. We saw that the connection between Business Central and the FORNAV Peppol network is completely encrypted and secured with OAuth 2.0. Once we had allowed FORNAV to communicate with our Business Central tenant, the connection was established automatically. We have created a sales invoice for the FORNAV test customer that was automatically sent to the FORNAV Peppol network. We could then accept, create and approve or reject the incoming document. Thank you very much for listening to me so far. Let's see if we have any questions. We don't any at the moment, so I'm going to wrap up this coffee break. If you want to know more about FORNAV, or if you want to download the FORNAV Designer and Converter, please visit our website. If you want to install FORNAV in Business Central Cloud, please visit the Microsoft App Source. You can watch more videos about FORNAV on our YouTube channel, and if you have any questions about FORNAV, please email them to support@fornav.com. For a full list of upcoming and recorded coffee breaks, please visit fornav.com/coffeebreak. Thank you very much for joining today, and goodbye.